Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about ranch knives. And so maybe you've heard this term, maybe you haven't, but it's bandied about here and there. Every now and then the term comes up, but what exactly is a ranch knife? And so we're going to be talking about that today, and where the term came from, how long it's been used. And there's going to be some surprising things, I think, that come out of this video. It's really interesting, especially the end of it. And so if you'd like to hear more about ranch knives, go ahead and check out the video. Hey, do you it's almost Halloween, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be an angel for Halloween.
Well, you're an angel all the time, honey. But I was wondering, do you see any ghosts around your house?
No.
Do you know what a ghost is?
I'm scared of ghosts.
Were you scared last night in the bedroom? Do you remember I came in the bed with you last night and you looked at me and you were scared and you went, ah! Do you remember that?
Nana does look scary when she wakes up.
Why did it scare you? Did you not know it was me? What'd you think it was?
Okay, welcome back to the fortified castle. Want to say hi to all my friends, and bonjour, privet, guten tag, hola, and ciao to my foreign friends. And so we're going to be talking about a class of knives that are called ranch knives. But like all knife patterns and knife designs, that term ranch knife could mean different things to different people. And that's why I wanted to do a video on it. And it's like a Bowie knife. You know, some people will call Bowie knife a Bowie knife. Some people will call the same type of knife a utility knife. Some people call the same kind of knife a tactical knife or a fighting knife. And so oftentimes you have multiple overlapping terms to describe a knife. And it also matters where you come from. So in the Southwest, it may be called something different than the Northeast, or in the Midwest, or in the Southeast. And so you get these different terms. And a good example of that is a Texas toothpick. So that's what I call a Texas toothpick. But some people call them powder horns, mainly up in the Northeast section of the country. In Louisiana, they called them Saturday night specials. In the Chicago area, they called them the 38 special. So it kind of depends where you are to what you called that specific pattern of knife. And so bear that in mind as we start talking about this. But I think you'll I think you'll kind of catch on and get into what I'm saying once we get down the road a little bit. And so knives like this knife here, I think is a very typical ranch style knife. And it has a 4-inch blade to it. Ranch style knives had small blades and small handles because they were carried by cattlemen on horseback. And so you have this handle sticking up. And if it was too big, like on a regular knife, it'll jab into your stomach. And so they had kind of a utilitarian design to them. And they all had semi-straight blades. Some were clipped, some were a spear point. But they were kind of straight blades like this, with straight belly, straight edge with a little bit of belly that rolled up. And they weren't too big, they weren't too thick. You know, they were around 1/8 of an inch to 3/16 of an inch. They were lightweight. Oftentimes ranchers, cowboys, would take the wood handles off these knives and put stag handles on them. They like to modify them and make them their own. Sometimes they made their own out of bigger knives or other type of materials like files and things like that. And so where you get this type of knife from is around at the turn of the 20th century. So the days of the big Bowie had long passed. And here's another one, a Benchmade. You see the same kind of style knife, right? And we call these hunting knives, skinning knives. But this is a basic pattern that these cattlemen were carrying at the turn of the 20th century. And they needed something thick and durable enough, but not too heavy and not too big to do the tasks that they had to do while they were out on the range. And so when I talk about a ranch knife, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. You know, a knife like this, oftentimes they're only 3 inches. And today we would call those little tiny fixed blades EDC carry knives is another term that we use for them. But back in the early 20th century, this is the kind of knife that cattlemen were carrying, ranchers, farmers. And I did a lot of research on this video. And I also looked at a lot of other videos made by cowboys. And so that was kind of eye-opening, because when you're actually listening to people who are out there doing the job and they're telling you what they're using, you know, that doesn't get any better than that. You're coming right from the source of information. And so I think a lot of them carry between 4 and 6 knives. That's kind of crazy. But you remember, if you're on horseback or you're on a four-wheeler or a motorcycle, you can put some of these knives into other areas like saddlebags and things like that. But this is another popular one, not this specific brand. This is a Cold Steel, but this design, this single-bladed clasp knife with this nice clip point design here, very sturdy. It's a lock and blade. You can see it locks right there. But this is actually called Ranch Boss. And I've seen custom knives made like this from Texas and Nevada area, Arizona, where these are very popular, this style right here, as a ranch knife. Just a small single-bladed knife that you can use to do tasks that you got to perform. Here's another one. Case, the 6532, I think it is. Whoa, 65. Man, why do I forget this? 6265. I know you guys are screaming at the camera right now. 6265. It's been around since the 20s. Class style knife. Also very popular with cowboys. I think to a lesser degree, the trapper. Some of them carry them, some of them don't, but it is a popular ranch style. And again, you see that same style blade, you know, and then a little 4-inch holder. It's lightweight, easily pocketable. And these are all ranch style kind of knives. The Sodbuster and Sodbuster clones is a popular knife. Again, single blade knife, little clasp design, lightweight, just adequate to do, you know, the various things that they have to do on the trail. And so I've not worked on a ranch before, but I have lived on a couple ranches and a horse ranch. I have had horses, so I kind of know what's going on there and what kind of work they're doing, cutting bales of hay, working a fence line. This is a relatively new design knife. They're called Cattleman knives. They have a hoof pick. Some of the guys actually showed this pattern knife right here, Cattleman knife that they carried. And of course, you know, the hoof pick really comes in handy. And then on the other side, you have a blade, single blade. And I think these are going to catch on. I think these, as more and more people are exposed to them. And so, you know, when we're thinking about uh, cowboys and cattlemen and ranches and things like that, for most people, I think it's kind of foreign. But 700,000 ranches exist in the United States alone. Most of those are either cattle or horse ranches. And then 4 million horses are owned by other people. Like I used to own 3 horses. And so, you know, individuals own the vast majority horses. And then also racing is the next highest group of people. Here's another big one. This was really surprising to me, but it makes sense. And this really has everything you need. So almost every video I watched, one of the blades they pulled out was a Leatherman. So really popular with ranchers and cowboys was the Leatherman or Leatherman style multi-tool. And it makes sense because a lot of times you're having to repair fence lines and you have ability to cut, you know, barbed wire. And then inside here, you know, you have a saw blade, which comes in handy if you want to make some traps. See if I can bring that out. You know, little saw blade, or just to cut up kindling, you know, to make a fire for the night. And nowadays, you know, ranching is not the way it used to be. This is a locking blade, so there's a lock right there. So these are just really perfect tools for cattlemen. But it was surprising how many actually carry these. This was one of the top carries right here. And here's another one that'll surprise you. Yeah, Victorinox, right? So that surprised me too. A lot of them just carried this Victorinox. This is an officer model that I carry. And a lot of them carried just a model like this, but also were the bigger models that have come out recently, you know, that have the 2 blades, 3 blades. I forget the name of them. You guys could shout it out there in the comments and tell me what I mean to say here. But yeah, the Victorinoxes were really popular. And what you see is, you know, they might have an inexpensive fixed blade because it might get lost. They'll just lose it in the mud or they'll break it. And so they tend to use inexpensive fixed blades. And then they would, a lot of them have these Leatherman that they carry. And then they would carry some type of other knife blade, you know, and that might be, you know, a trapper, or might be one of these horse knives with that in it. Or a simple sod buster, you know, some type of small fixed blade. So pretty interesting though. They actually carry a lot of knives in their daily use. And even though they use, you know, vehicles now, 4-wheelers, motorcycles, and even helicopters, nothing really replaces the horse. And so a horse allows you to get into really rugged territory that you can't take a motorized vehicle in. And so they still use horses, and ranchers still own a lot of horses. And these type of ranch and type of knives are still, you know, used in America today to a large degree. So I hope you found the video informative, and if you'd like to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And thanks to everybody for watching the videos and all the support that you give me. Thanks again.